do.
If you haven't heard, Harry Styles using his social distancing time to write some new tunes, so let's all keep an eye out for those together, right? It's Mike O'Reilly in the Basement Lounge at Prairie Village, man. Today we are back. It is 95.7 The Vibe. I got to talk to Major Harvey of the Salvation Army because I know there's a lot of things and ways that we want to help, but some of us just may not know how, so Major Harvey's going to help us out here. First things first, thank you for everything that you and the Salvation Army are doing to help right now.
Well, thank you so much. And it's not even just around the country. We're in 131 countries, and this is affecting them as well.
Sure.
So we're grateful for the officers and soldiers serving in their local communities, all the way down here to our own country, to right here, our division that serves Missouri and the Western and Kansas.
And you guys got your hands full for sure. Salvation Army, salarmymocan.org. We're going to talk with Major Harvey all hour long, okay? Got a lot of great questions, ways you can help, volunteer, all that stuff. We'll cover between now and 4 o'clock. Sound good? JB and Quavo, intentions are on 95.7 The Vibe. Everybody's got good intentions, wanting to help out, give back in KC. Salvation Army, a great place to start. Links are up, 957thevibe.com. Major Harvey joining me all hour today, getting to talk about ways that we can help out. And I know a lot of people know that, food, that's one way, shelter, clothing, thrift stores, all that stuff. Great resources from the Salvation Army. But also, what about assistance when you see those bills coming in right now? And I know a lot of people worried about those different things. What's the best way if we want to reach out and see if we qualify for something like that?
The best way is to call your local Salvation Army. Because of the social distancing requirements, we're not requiring everyone to be face to face.
Sure.
If we can, we're doing a lot of those phone interviews, and then once it's decided what they need, a lot of it is food. They just have to drive up Salvation Army, and our officers or staff are there to meet them with that box of food, place it in their car, and they're able to move on. Some more technical things, like if it's rent assistance or others, we do have to do a face-to-face interview in that area. Then they can come into the building. We just suggest right now that people call first at that appointment, or to make sure that they're just not going to be waiting in their car a long time before we're able to help them.
Makes sense. salarmymocan.org. Major Harvey from the Salvation Army. 6 minutes, we're talking about ways the Salvation Army has had to change their response tactics. 6 minutes on The Vibe. It's 95.7 The Vibe, those beautiful people. It's Mike O'Reilly in the Basement Lounge at Prairie Village. Today, though, we are talking with my good friend, Major Harvey from the Salvation Army. Listen, we're not the only ones having to adapt and find out these new normals and differences to our routines. So are our local charities that help those right here in Kansas City. So my question to you, Major Harvey, is with everybody having to adapt, what are the biggest changes that you guys, the Salvation Army, have had to make in response tactics? What's changed?
Social distancing is a challenge. When people come to us, they need someone to be close and to hear their story of what they're going through, so they can know they're not here alone. Imagine that homeless person being alone, that at least every day he can come to the Salvation Army for a sandwich, or we're going to meet him on the street with that food. They are really, it's challenging us as an organization that is so social and so listening and so caring, to have to back off a bit. But yet, God still provides through that sandwich, through that water that we're giving them, to let them know they're loved, they're not forgotten, and they're going to make it through. Because what we don't want to see, which is what a lot of the people who come to us deal with from time to time, is things like depression, is things like drug overdose, those kind of things that they will run to when times get really tough. And so by us stepping in, and again, by Kansas Cityans and others who have always helped us come forward with things, we're able to get them through this next hurdle, so that, again, they don't have to resort or fall into depression or some of the challenges of addictions they might be facing. Or, again, just be homeless living in their car in a time we can help keep a roof over their head.
100%. The Salvation Army definitely doing the most good. salarmymocan.org. That is the website. You can also get the links, 957thevibe.com. Now, what are specific ways and the biggest needs right here in KC? Major Harvey and I were talking about that. Give us 6 minutes, all right? It's 95.7 The Vibe. It's 95.7 The Vibe. There's 5 Sauce. So Salvation Army, of course, doing the most good right here in Kansas City in these unprecedented times. How can we help? That's a big question. 957thevibe.com has the link to Salvation Army, which is salarmymocan.org if you want to cruise over there. But right now, Major Harvey joining us, and we're just talking about different things the Salvation Army is doing right now. The biggest need, a lot of people want to know, the biggest need from your perspective right now here in Kansas City, what would you say?
Our biggest need here is for food and bread and hygiene supplies. Because again, the stores and even those resources we've reached out to have been depleted because again, those who had means were able to buy those things. So bread last week was a challenge, and we've doubled our services and our feeding programs right now, and we've had to switch from warm meals to sandwiches just so people can, it's more like a drive-through service and meal now. When they come to Salvation Army. We were out of bread, but then somebody found that out, called around, and so Hy-Vee, the River Market, the Bloom, and the Bite, as well as Roma Bakery have come forward and are supplying us right now with bread so that we can keep these food programs going that we have. The shelves, the things that we're handing out right now are starting to deplete. Some of the staple foods, meals like spaghettis, peanut butter, stews, those kind of things are starting to disappear. So if families have things at home that they want to collect or put in a box, drop off at any close Salvation Army, those could be very helpful to our pantries right now, because what we think is the most challenging right now. When this is all lifted, everybody's fine health-wise, and people have to realize not only are we serving those who didn't have jobs before, we're about to walk in and have to serve those who were employed yesterday in a fine job being able to care for their family, who are going to need a few weeks or a few months of help until they're able to find that next job. And that's what we're here for as well.
Man, that's such a great point. Major Harvey from the Salvation Army joining us right now. We're going to chat a little bit more, but listen, the links are up, 957thevibe.com. If you want to help, there are people right now in our city, they need help. And just like you just said, when we get past this, there's going to be people in the recovery mode that are going to try to find their next job that are going to need help. So links are up, 957thevibe.com. And again, more with Major Harvey. We're going to talk volunteers and things they need on the way before 4 o'clock. It is 95.7 The Vibe. You're on 95.7 The Vibe. There's Dua Lipa, of course, all our Salvation Army. We're talking with Major Harvey of the Salvation Army. Links are up, 957thevibe.com on how you can help. We talked about the biggest needs, meaning right now some foods and donations they need. Also, volunteers. That's another question. Are you guys still actively recruiting?
Yes, they can go to our website if a volunteer wants to help. That's something that's dropped off a little bit too. We've had a lot of older volunteers who carried us for a while, but they're having to really stay into their homes so that it is safer for them. So if somebody is interested in volunteering, we do have programs that, again, keep you social distanced, are very sanitary in that way, and they can go to our website and click on the volunteer button at salarmymocan.org. And in that way, we can get them assigned to some of these locations for making sandwiches right now, or for restocking these food pantries, or getting it to a family or a senior who can't come out of their home, and getting them the food they need. So that is something that's needed right now.
Again, that website, salarmymocan.org. We're talking about Major Harvey from the Salvation Army right now. And these are ways that you can directly impact people in need right here in Kansas City, okay? Links are up, 957thevibe.com as well. More with Major Harvey from the Salvation Army. We are talking in minutes. It's Black Bear now on The Vibe. Get to those blinding lights. It's 95.7 The Vibe. So all hour we've been talking with Major Harvey from the Salvation Army, doing the most good right here in KC, from how to still volunteer to how they've had to adapt to the biggest needs. But I've saved the best question for last, and I just want to know from your perspective. We've seen a lot of negative stuff. We've heard a lot of negative news. What's the most positive or just inspirational thing that you've witnessed over the last week or two?
How our staff, the Salvation Army, serve our social workers, our staff at our headquarters here and all throughout the state. How they've jumped in, are listening to the community, whether it's a hospital that needs supplies, whether it's a local community center that shut down or school that needs to feed their children. Some of them have gotten in our canteens that normally serve disasters, are now driving from apartment complex to apartment complex and taking the food there. And to see that people are calling us. Before, when there's a disaster, we jump right in and we can talk to people face to face. Well, now where we're all, people are having to distance themselves, we're needing people to call us and say, hey, can you help me with this? So again, our phone lines are open. We also have a prayer line at 968-0497. If someone just needs to talk, maybe they're overwhelmed or they're lonely in their home, call that line. We have counselors and friends on that phone line, or go to wepray@usc.salvationarmy.org. You can chat online with somebody, just again to know you're not alone and someone is behind you. But again, the greatest thing is the way people here in Missouri and Kansas have stepped forward and are serving each other, even to see these donations come through and families are thinking of themselves. So having to take care of themselves. So again, we're grateful to God and to this great community who cares for others besides themselves.
Thank you for all you do. Major Harvey, the Salvation Army. Again, salvationarmyusa.org, or the local site at salarmymocan.org. You can catch him there. Thank you so much today for your time, Major Harvey.
Thank you, Mike, and God bless you all.